Hey guys, and how's it going? This is my 1965 Ford Econoline pickup. I think it's called the Super Spring Special, hence the chrome that is on it. Anyway, we've been gluing this thing back together for several years. It was all rotted out, bottom 6 inches was gone all the way around. Drivetrain issues, just a little bit of everything that needed to be addressed for a vehicle that, you know, sat parked for 20 or 30 years. Anyway, the last video we did a clutch on it, and since then I've probably put about 500 miles on the shakedown runs on it. It is doing very well, but it does have some issues that have come up, and I'll show you those right now. One of them being when you're trying to cruise around, it's got a manual choke on it. You got to pull it up about a ½ inch, make it run a little richer, and it runs nice and smooth. Unfortunately, the idle kind of comes up with that. If you turn it down, you leave the choke off all the way, it kind of, I wouldn't say it stutters, but you can kind of feel like it pulsing on you. Like it's not a smooth acceleration. It kind of wanders a little bit. So it's a little on the lean side. The fuel pump, you can smell fuel on it. The fuel pump is weeping a little. And there's this, probably the biggest pain in the ass. Has an exhaust leak. And the exhaust leak is up somewhere by the exhaust manifold that we're gonna have to get into. So, without further ado, let's go bring her back to the shop, get her up on the lift, and we'll start taking care of those last couple things, and hopefully it stays that way. Everything else seems really good. It drives nice. It actually drives very nice for what it is. I'm quite surprised. It's smooth. It's not jumpy going with bumps. The power is just right for the 3-speed trans. It's very well matched. I'm very happy with that part of it. So let's go see if we can get those last couple things done. Maybe we'll take her for a test drive afterwards and have a little blast, a little talk, a little chat. So let's go head back to the shop. Let's go get her up on the lift and see what we can find. Yeah, see if you can hear it when, it's not too bad when the lid's down, when that's shut, it's not too loud, but you can still hear it. It's annoying. It was so nice, you know, when it was quiet. It's very comfortable to drive, but I don't know, anything that has an exhaust leak kind of annoys me. I don't mind loud exhaust, but I don't like a leaky exhaust. Makes any sense. Now the gauges are doing good, doesn't seem like it overheats. It's 94 degrees today, and where are we at? We're pretty much, yeah, we're straight up and down on that. See how accurate I could be getting it on the lift. Try to eyeball it sometimes. Sometimes I hang the tires over the edge though. And I think we are way too far that way. Let's go see. I always do that too. We're hanging off a little bit in the back there. I'll kick it over just a little bit, get her centered. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna try to favor it that way. If we're gonna be working on the exhaust from underneath, will give us a little bit more room on this side maybe. All right, well, I'm not going to fire it back up again to show because it's cooled off. I let it cool down, but I kind of reached around and it looks like it's either right in the center of the exhaust manifold, which is new, or the coupler down below to the pipe. I don't think it's a coupler. I think it's actually coming off of the manifold or the header itself. And this is a new one that we put on when we first did it. And the intake manifold is permanent, does not come off the engine, it's cast on it. But this manifold had a couple of issues. You can see where it's mounted. Like again, that's fixed right there. So I had to kind of get a little janky around there to cut into it, put this in there to help support it. Let's start tearing down. Maybe we'll go underneath, we'll take the pipe off the bottom, we'll kind of inspect from there first. I throw a wrench on the hardware. I do not see anything loose. I mean, you turned them all a quarter turn or so, but I don't think that's what the issue was. I'm looking, like I said, we also got a fuel leak too. That valve cover looks kind of wet, doesn't it? I wonder if it's leaking around by the fuel pump, or is that just oil that came out of the oil bath air cleaner. I have a new fuel pump for it. I think that is what the issue is, but let's go start with the exhaust first. That's the most annoying one for me. Other than the fact that it may just catch on fire, but there's that. All right, let's start with kind of like a support clamp. Let's get that out of the One saving grace is that we've had everything apart, so it hasn't had time to get too cruddy. Not enough. It's got like a hook on the back of it. I think we're clear, right? Go for those two. You think those are 5/8? I think so. Smaller. The weather has definitely taken a turn. It is pouring out. Oh, it's a good time to be inside working on stuff. I like that. I don't feel guilty. That's what I like about winter. Two. Both of them were tight enough. Let's go buzz them back down. We'll pull that pipe. There's no gasket between this and the flange. And remember when we were putting it together, there was kind of a controversy whether that was supposed to be like that or not. I would prefer that to be the problem. Maybe not. I don't think that's where it was leaking. You would see like a stain, exhaust stain coming out of it. Actually, it looks pretty good. So I think we have to go a little bit deeper. I think we're gonna have to drop this manifold. Might be easier though if we get rid of the starter out of our way. Let me get rid of that hot lead. And I'll drop that starter, we'll bring you back, we'll start getting that manifold down from there. One bolt left. Fortunately, I didn't disconnect the battery on it because it has a starter relay further up. So this lead's not hot. Only when you turn the key. The battery is kind of a bitch. It's behind the driver's seat, but it's enclosed in a box. That is a little awkward to get to. Get that out of the way. Now you can kind of see the bolts. I guess we just unbolt it and drop it down. I do have a gasket for it if that's what the issue is. Hopefully there's no cracks or anything in it because I don't see I'm looking at the gasket, I don't see anything kind of funky. Only area I think possibly is like right up here. What are they, 9/16 you think? We'll grab it with a wrench. Confirm either half of them. Half of them. 9/16, so we'll go grab a swivel socket that fits that. Start buzzing them out. We got two left. These two. This one was pretty loose. That wasn't all that tight either. And that one. I mean, they weren't loose, but they weren't like exhaust manifold. You're not going to crank down on them anyway. Yeah, you know. But the torque I think should be like 30. Should be a ton. And more. And we can unveil. What do we got for damage? I would say it was leaking right where we thought it was, right there. Let's go take a peek at the gasket. Oh yeah. We'll get us out of here, but gasket's flipped over. It's burnt in the middle, of course, because there's no support there. Let's get a leg on it. And it just blew away right there. Right at its weakest point. I don't know if there's anything we can do to help that. That doesn't look all that great neither there. Probably what would be advisable is maybe we'll try try to put it back together again. And we'll do a heat cycle on it. I'm gonna lay a level across that and make sure we don't have any kind of divot right here. And the same on the manifold. Yeah, let's go take a quick peek on the bench, see if we have anything going on with the exhaust manifold itself. I didn't push on that enough. We got enough ice. And there's not a direction to this, right? It's can only go on one way. I think it's maybe the material. That's how it was. That's how it burnt out. If we flip this 180, it would go on. Did I possibly have the gasket on the wrong direction? No. Hold on. No, it can't go on. The holes don't line up. Answers that question. Let's go look for a low spot on it. Go across a bunch of it. Let's go eyeball it from the side. Put a light behind it, see if we see anything. If anything, because I got an air gap up there, it's the other way around. It's the center of it is kind of touching first. Then should be enough flex to take care of that. I don't know, I'm gonna go take a wire wheel. I'm gonna go clean up this flange. Like I said, this manifold is new. The other one, I believe, was cracked, I think, when we changed it. And we'll go clean it all back up. Let's go. I'll clean up the cylinder head. Same thing. Maybe we'll just try it again. And what I should do, maybe after about 100 miles, I'll come back in and see if I can just sneak a wrench in around there. And we'll tighten it all down. Plus, it's probably, this is about the weakest spot on, too, as far as how much material there is around things and how much support. Where was it? Right here that it blew out? Yeah. Because there's not much. There is not much. So it blew out right there. That's the top. It's kind of a decent distance between, bolting down flanges for it. I guess once it gets a little bit of leak, it just starts pushing the gasket out and it fails. Live and learn. Well, you definitely say it isn't smooth. There's like a ridge right here. You hear it? My nail clicking off of it. I don't know, we kind of, maybe a flapper disc. We're gonna try knocking some of that down with a little bit of like a sander flapper disc. I think it's just rust, where it sat at one point and then it rusted away. And let's see if we can work on getting them a little flatter. Kind of what's going on is this is fairly flat, and right where the bolts are, it's raised, so it's just not allowing to put enough pressure on it. I can see if I can find a fresh one of the flapper discs and kind of work on that. I'm gonna hit the other ones too. Plus your lens, there's a bunch of dust in it. Go figure. So I switched over from the flapper disc to a sanding disc. Got a little bit more aggressive. Plus it lays a little bit more flat. And you can see where I already hit that one. We should do the one next to it. That looks like it levels it out much better, so I'll finish up the last two, and we'll start getting it back on there. Such a process making up a couple of guide bolts so that we can just stick the gasket on there without trying to hold it up. And I'm looking at the new one compared to the old one, and it's, I don't know, look at the quality of this showing up. You can see all the cracking already going all the way around it. Even like areas like here, I don't see it on this one. I don't know, maybe it's just the quality of this. So in this, we're gonna unfortunately find out maybe they're just crap and it doesn't hold up like it used to. Right? Almost looks like you take that edge right there, right, and just kind of like chip it off. I'm not gonna, but yeah, look at it. Hey, it's just falling off. Hopefully they're not too long sticking out. We can wiggle this up in there. And then when we got it in place, we just take a screwdriver or our fingers. Take that back out. Of course, we just got to get them all started first. We'll crank them down. Give me a long one. Here we go. Alright, so I'm going to go chase them. Get them all started. We can kind of button stuff back up. And I don't know, you want to fire it up first, or do you want to maybe start with that fuel pump while we're down here? It doesn't grab by very much. That's only grabbing it up further. Man, I ain't getting that by 4 threads. Make sure I go get a couple of longer bolts. Won't go too long though. That can be an issue. Well, like I said, the good part is everything was already taken apart once. So, things go back together quite easy. So what you guys in the non-rust belt feel like when you're working on stuff? You'll put a wrench on something and cringe? Whether it's going to snap off or not? Get on. I think that should have had a washer. Get on. Let's get the pipe up in there. And this flange has a taper on it, and that has a taper on it. And we're kind of questioning whether that's supposed to have a donut on it. But I must say, that hasn't leaked. So for now, we're gonna let it ride. I forget anything? The muffler clamp here looks a little angled like this. I'm not sure it's gonna leak or not. Let's we'll fire it up and we'll see how it does. Let's go take a quick peek anywhere else and see what we got for an issue. The fuel pump's there. You could even see at the bottom it's kind of wet. Even here, this might be oil, but I believe that is where our fuel leak is. Plus they have diaphragms in them, and the new fuel kind of takes them out. The rest of it's looking pretty good. How's our custom gas tank? Yeah, it's a 16 that we turned into a 20. Yeah, I had to add there's a Mustang fuel tank, but the neck for this truck comes out in a different spot. So I had to go kind of braze in a flange over there. I wanted to make sure that it didn't leak. So I hit it with compressed air. Yes, I did. And poof, she turned into pretty much a balloon. I kind of pushed her back into shape, and looks decent. Probably still have about another extra gallon out of it, but it is not leaking. I believe it has almost a full tank right now. All right, let's go drop it down on the ground, fire it up, and make sure we don't have an exhaust leak, and we'll start jumping on some other stuff. And let's see what we get. May or may not need choke. Uh-oh, I saw a puff of something coming out of there. Let's go for some choke. And I saw a puff coming up from up top. That wasn't good. Well. What'd you do? Yeah, knock a coil wire off or something. Oh, no, quiet. Yeah, we got it. Probably been a little flooded or something. That's more like it. Problem is, you know, it'll take a second. See, I'll shut the choke off all the way. It'll idle perfectly fine, but it'll have. Yeah, it's not gonna do it now, right? That, like a flat spot. Which could be accelerator pump, but at the same token, like when you're trying to drive, and you just like say you're in third gear and you're cruising at like, I don't know, 40 mile an hour, 35 miles an hour. It's like pulsing, it's like waving, it's like the power comes on, kind of backs off a little. Not dramatic, but as soon as you pull up on the choke like that right there. If you leave it right there, which again is probably only about 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch up on the rod, right about there is where it runs really good. But I shouldn't have to do that. We should be able to turn the choke all the way off to kind of get her running like it should. Alright. Let's go shut her down before we get it hot, and we can kind of keep screwing around with it. Let's, I don't know if we can pull that carb off, and maybe we'll just see if there's any dirt in it. Kind of doubt it. It could be, who knows. Let's go and do that. We'll kind of look at the accelerator pump. This is an oil bath air cleaner, I believe. It does not have like a paper filter in it. So you gotta watch it, you don't tip it. So like I said, it's got oil sitting in it. Yeah, let me get that out of the way. And maybe we'll pop that carb right off of there so that we don't drop any screws down into. Yeah, let me just get this out of the way. We'll regroup. I don't want to set it down and let it slip off and make a mess, you know. Well, this is a vacuum line going down to the distributor. A vacuum leak would cause it to do kind of the same thing. Generally, though, it would raise the idle up kind of high. That all seems pretty good, along with this hose too. This could also be a vacuum leak causing that. And like I said, it's throughout the whole. It's not just idle or coming up off of idle. It's you're trying to cruise. It's kind of like when you were watching cartoons as a kid and you heard like whether it was Daffy Duck coming in for a crash landing or a plane or whatever, it'd be like and it has that kind of, it doesn't make the sound, but it has that feeling of and it's not skipping a beat, it's not missing, it's just like the power kind of drifts on and off. I don't know the best way to kind of explain it. Anyhows, let's get this off of here. So what do we got? What is this? I've had this all apart too. So this is our fuel in. This is our throttle cable, our throttle linkage. No, that's a choke. That's got to be a throttle. And we'll get rid of that. And I'm sure there's probably just like 2 nuts on the bottom. This popped out of here. Just double check and make sure we don't have anything kind of going on. Yeah, I don't see anything. We get it unbolted up off of there. We'll pop it up on the bench, and if we don't, we take it apart. We don't see any dirt. Maybe we'll take the main jet and kind of open it up just a hair. I lied to you that this is like a vacuum port or something. The throttle's on the back side. Thought that was a little weird. There's air fuel in. We got, that's a tiny one, huh? What's that, like a 3/8? What do you think? 3/8? I turned the choke on too, just in case you go and you drop hardware and it goes down the center of the intake. That could suck. That's how this thing feels. A lot of times you have just a vacuum hose going down. You can kind of pinch it off with a pair of like vice grips or pliers, and you can tell if there's a difference in the engine, whether this had an intake leak or not. I think this is gonna be just like a breather, like a overflow breather for the float bowl, and then maybe it runs it down alongside the, dumps it on the ground in case something happens, float sticks or something. Get out of there. Yeah, that's all that is. all we got is we just got 2 nuts to move. Gotta move our nuts. And what size are they? Big ones? Half inch. Whippy nuts. I think they're half inch. I'm gonna go with 7/16 babies. Adolescent. I would say they probably could have tightened down on the carb a little bit more too. Again, it wasn't bad, and it's kind of like the exhaust, you know, from sitting. But and the other thing too is when we had to get a chiropractor to spray the base up and see if we heard a leak or anything. But again, it doesn't seem. It just seems like it's just lean. Let's go get that over to the bench. Let's go give a quick look. We got a bunch of corrosion right here going on. We'll let that go right down the center of it, right? Yeah. And then it's got like a preheat. This is the heater hose going across, and it heats the intake manifold up so it doesn't run cold. Let's get that out of there. Yeah. And this is all one piece down below. It's part of the head, so nothing saying this gasket isn't leaking. Right. Let's go crack her open. See if we get any caca. I think we can leave this one on. We got like I don't know, 8 screws going around. Let me buzz them out real quick. One was loose. I also remember too, right? Like, so it sat for a long period of time. We do all the metal work on it, and then we went to go fire it back up again, and it wouldn't idle. I remember backing out the air fuel mix, and it came back. So that's kind of an indication that it might be dirty too. I should be able to flip this over towards you. Okay, so that's the main jet right there. I wouldn't say that bowl is terribly dirty. Let's go dump that out. Just sitting on them. Shove the bolt in it to hold it. You see? Oh. Check ball fell out. I think it was for the accelerator pump. All right, let's go lay it down, take a peek at that main jet, see if we see any kind of dirt in it. Yes, we would be looking right inside. We can get it with this one. Yeah. Would be right down the throat of that. Any resistance on that? I don't see anything obvious. I don't know if we have a piece up above that we can also kind of pull out. Like I said, I think what we may end up doing is just taking. I'm gonna hold that up to the light and make sure it doesn't focus. Come on. No. Focus on that. You could touch the screen on what you want it to focus on, and it was dancing around it. Still doesn't want to do it, right? Anyway. That. Right there. I'm going to try to. We'll measure, we'll get a drill bit that fits through it, and then we'll open it up a hair over that size. But I'm going to take a quick look to make sure I don't see anything else that's kind of going on with it. Again, it looks pretty clean. I don't see, you know, very much of anything in there that was causing an issue. We can still take the idle speed. Let's flip that around. So this is the idle speed. Not idle speed. Idle air fuel mix. What was it? So we were like half, 1, 1.5. That's about right. It's about 2 out. 1.5 and 2, which is normal pretty much almost for anything. But we'll blow that out. It should have a little seal that comes with it. Alright. Let me go eyeball it and see if we find anything. And if not, we will like I said, we're just going to open this jet up a little bit more. Over by my little drill index set, and this, they're all labeled. This is the smallest. No, this would be the smallest, 60, and it goes all the way down to number 1. Drill bit sizes. You open them up, you can kind of see they're all in the categories. So we are going to go try to find one that just fits through there, and then we'll go to the next one. Oh, we didn't get that lucky that fast, right? That was about 54. That was a good eyeball. So 53. Let's just make sure we're not got one in the wrong spot. 52. So 54 makes it. That's the last one that's in there. Yeah, 54 just makes it. I may go with that 52. Maybe we'll give her just a little more. A little more she wants, you know. 53 also. Yeah, let's go open it with the. We'll do the 53 first, and see how much meat it takes off. If it's nothing, we'll go to the next one. So let's go. I'm starting to get myself confused. Right? Yeah, 54 is the one that made it, right? Yeah, and then the 53. All right, let's go try that one, and then if not, we'll go down to 52. Oh, and if you were like if you're doing a little one, like a motorcycle carburetor or something like really tiny, they have these index sets. They're really tiny. You can go even down even further. But not in this. Worst case too, you could always fill it with solder if you go too much. Let's go get that. Yeah, that wasn't much. The it had stamped on it a 50. It had a F7 or something like that. Yeah. I'm sure if you look it up, probably corresponds to something, but we will just kind of go with that. I think there's 3 thou difference between the two of them. So we're coming up with, I don't know what you call it, 52 thou? Probably off 1 thou. It's supposed to be a 53, right? And that one's coming in at like 55. So you got 3 thousandths difference between them. Let's just give her that little bit of a tease and see if that helped us. Sometimes, you know, certain carburetors you can actually like pull a plug and you can take the jet right out of it while the carb's all together on its thing. Do your changes and put it back together. But not on this. Plus, you know, the other part of it too is that see if the dirt settled out of it. Am I leaking? Uh-oh. Towel. We've had a malfunction. The fact that when this thing was made in 1965, and that's the original carburetor and everything for it, the fuel that it was going in it was going to be a leaded fuel, and without ethanol. And now we're running non-lead with ethanol kind of thing. So I'm sure there's a change in the burn quality of what we're trying to use slightly. So let's see if our little tweaks kind of help. Part of me wants to go a little bit larger on that, just to you know. I don't know if it would hurt us to run a little on the rich side or not, but okay, it may have been a mistake, but I went the next one up. We'll see if that was the right thing to do or not. So I'm not sure which one the check ball fell out of. It is either that one or that one. I think it was that one, but I'm gonna go put some gas in it. We're just going to function because I think that's the fuel path. Let's go. Try to hold this where it's not making a mess. Yeah. So it should be allowing fuel to go one direction. I want to say it was here. Let's go try it here. And that should allow eventually fuel to come up and over and dump down inside there. And that's what's called an accelerator pump. No, I'm not getting it. Wrong. Let's go try it in the other one. Go with the 50-50 shot. I got a little tiny magnet. I don't want to. Yeah, we'll dump it back in. So we have it over there. Oh, no, I did it. Where did you come from? Ah, shit. Let me see, that one was... No, that was definitely not there. Bitch. Operating difficulties. Please stand by. We got something wrong. Well, the great part about filming video is you get to see what happened. So that check ball fell out of right there. But having said that, we put fuel in it, and I'm firing the accelerator pump. Oh, there it goes. Now it's going. It wasn't pumping any fuel before. I wouldn't exactly say it's doing a great job now. Let's go pull that apart because it should have a check ball on each side. I see another passage right here with none in there. There's a pin over here that's not for it. I'm wondering if one is missing. If we cup our finger over that one. Again, it should be just like a one-way door. So what would happen is this cavity should fill up all the way up with fuel, and every time you hit it, it goes through the top, goes in through that passage and shoots fuel down the center of the carburetor, so that when you get that little bit of a lean spot when you get on the gas and it kind of falls on its face, that's supposed to fix that. And I do not see that working. Like, it works for one. Like, that's it. But, like, it seems like it's kind of... So what do you think the chances are? Well, these are where I can get them out without losing them. Let that just pop out of there. A hair smaller? I don't know. If I told you to pick one, which was the original one, would you know? Let's go try dropping them in both locations. And we will fill it up with fuel, put it all together, and see if we accelerate. The bottom hole is the fill. I wonder if this port needs to be blocked off up here, because it is. There it goes. Well, there's that. I thought we tried that before, though. Anyway, I am going to go leave all that just like it is. I have a feeling one of them was missing all along, because both of those look exactly the same going down the center of them, as far as like they have like a little chamfer on the bottom, like where a ball should sit. And we're gonna go call that. So let me go put her all back together again and see what we get. Hey, back together. Let's go see if she is a squirter. We need to hit the throttle. She's gonna be there. There we go. Sounds good too. You can hear it. I think we're out of fuel. Yeah. Plenty. Good. Yeah, we need to check that before we took it apart, whether that one did make a difference or not. I'm not quite sure. But let's move on. I'm going to bolt that back up and we'll fire it up and see if it makes any difference. I might have been Y2 also when we went to go start it. I pumped it a couple times and like nothing was happening. Maybe the accelerator pump was not working at that time. I just don't know. All right, let's see what we get. For neutral, I think the choke is off. Let's try it with the choke off. And how much gas is left in it. Oh, we don't have a gas pedal. Hold on. Almost there. There's a knuckle in the back. Somewhere that has to go on that. Big enough. There you go. That works. Choke works. Let's go fire in the hole. Key on. Touches out. We'll go grab her a little bit. Definitely no flat spot. Let it warm up a little bit. Make sure we still bump the choke a little. Because the choke does two things. It's restricting the airflow, making it richer, but it's also upping the throttle. It works the throttle a little bit to kind of rev it a little faster. We'll let that run for a second, then we'll go over to the air-fuel mix and we'll try adjusting that, see if we can get her to run just dial it in, so to speak. Turn choke off. Gonna hold it at higher RPM. Pretty good. Probably throw the air cleaner on too for it, but let's try tweaking it first. So it's going to be this screw right here, that air fuel mix. Go out a little first by that. Makes it worse. We'll run it in. Find that sweet spot. That's good. That's too much. We'll leave it right there. Smells pretty good. As it warms up, I can probably tweak it a little bit more yet too. Good. Let's let it go down on idle, and we'll boot it. Good. The road's gonna tell us more though. All right, let's go shut it down. Ah, it's way over there. Clobber ourselves out. What do we got left? We got the fuel pump to go look into. Let me pop that air cleaner on. I think we can kind of close that section of it up, but then we got that to deal with. I think probably it's right here. Let's go get the one out of the box first. Make sure we even have the right thing. Yeah, let's go crack this open. I don't even think I looked at it. I want some order on eBay because you know you needed it and you just never put it in. I would say it's very similar, huh? It's got the same. I don't know if that's going to be a fuel filter that's on top. A gasket, an adapter for fuel lines to go in. Does that open up? Maybe not. I'll leave it alone. I thought it looked like threads, kind of like an oil filter. but I'm looking at them, they're just even lines. Run my finger around it, see what it does. See if it walks up. Oh yeah, it does. It's threaded on. I will leave it alone. Yep, works. Good. Oh, see what we can tackle from up above, and then we'll probably try to get the bolts out maybe from the bottom. But let's go clamp up that fuel line because I don't know if it's going to try to keep eating fuel. So this is coming. It's tight getting up in here. We did all this before. We had the engine bay was the tin wasn't around here. We got it. Of course, it's going to need adjustment, right? We may or may not have that. You're gonna find out. Let's go unthread that. You could probably open this fuel pump too. See how? My guess is there's like a big filter on that white part up top. Not positive. Watch your head. I don't think it was snug on there, huh? You gonna pee fuel? No, good. And what do we need for that? We need like maybe a 9/16 to hold it from spinning, and a 1/2 inch for the fuel line. I think the chances are that's gonna want to break loose easy for us. Let's just try to have it. Might have to get a line wrench. Just go see what it does. Sometimes you get surprised. You know what it is? I think the fitting is frozen to the line. I don't know how your view is going to be. I don't know how my view is going to be. Might have went. Either that or slipped. Now we got it good. So this is probably going to drain all the fuel down that goes up to the carb. Should be that much though. Kind of like doing big brake lines. Yeah, I got to room to work. So I'm going to work on that for a few minutes. This one you get like a 1/2 turn, put the wrench over, you get another 1/2 flat kind of thing. I'm hoping we get it to the point where you can just spin it with your fingers. Yeah, there. Took that coil wire out of our way. I grabbed the coil and I'm like, that's just sitting there too. Who put this thing together? Well, I'll bring you back when we go to the lane down under, and we'll try to get those two bolts off. And the other part too is that, so this is on a cam. The fuel pump's mechanical, and depending on where the engine is, sometimes it could be a bear to try to bolt the new fuel pump up because it's on the high part of the cam. Sometimes even if not, it fights you. All right, I'm going to get you guys out of the way, and I'm going to continue to try to get that line off. You can kind of see it. Let's go with... I like to try to get that... There's always a tendency to take the easier one out first. Let's go for the one that's a little harder to see. I think I'm better with or without the extension. I get something half that size. It'll definitely work out better for us. like I said, it's going to have like a spring-loaded capacity to it, so it's going to want to push off. Plus, it's probably going to piss a little bit of oil. I don't think it gets pressurized. I think it just gets splashed oil against it. It's not like it's fed. It doesn't have that much of moving parts in it. But it is open to the oil gallery. Well, fight the bolt to come out. Looks like it is stuck to it, which is kind of good. That way we don't have to fight with the bolt. We're going to have to tap on it in a second. Good place for an air ratchet. Maybe the gasket that's trying to hold the bolt. Like right now, it's out of the threads, but it's just kind of fighting you. Right. Make sure there's not a third one anywhere. Let's go whack that with a hunk of wood and a hammer. Or a brass rod. There it goes. Well, I bet that's the original one. Let's go lay that next to the one that we got and see if all the pieces. Sometimes they have a push rod. Sometimes it's just a cam. I think this one's just a cam. There's no push rod. Let's go lay them next to each other. Make sure that they are apples and apples. Or oranges, whatever you prefer. One thing I'm noticing right off the bat is the hammer. The light's probably better on this side. You know, that is a longer setup than what's over there. They both look like they're on the same angle, just the one's got more of a reach. I don't know if that's a problem. Probably not. I also can kind of see where it was leaking fuel. So there's like an airspace. So there's a diaphragm in here that works back and forth, and then below that is someplace the air has to be able to move in and out of it. And then also, if it does get any, my guess, any fuel like is a place to kind of leak out. You can see where it's all washed away from there. So that's probably right where it was leaking and running right down where you see where the new ones are on here. Plus, this one looks like we could take it apart. This one is fixed. Maybe we will. See what we got for time. Maybe we'll tear this one apart and kind of look inside of it just for shits and giggles. But let me go get this cleaned up. I gotta go. Actually, let's go. I'm gonna just go place that up in there, make sure it fits, and then we'll glue a gasket to it, let it set up while we're cleaning up the block. We gotta clean that up no matter what anyway, so we might as well just take care of that first. I have what's called a Scotch-Brite. That's what this is. It's not sandpaper. See how that does on getting rid of all that leftover paper that's glued to it. That side's gonna fight me a little. Make sure I'm not cooking any wires. Almost there. So it came with two gaskets. I don't know why. This is the right stuff, or black cheese whiz. Let's see if it's any good. Here we go. We're just gonna Thin layer of that. Thinner than that. Put one of them on. Should probably grab the bolts and we'll use it to center it, but then we're also gonna hit again. I could have put it on the block, but it's just easier to get to. Stuff's pretty good. It doesn't really, it hardens up better than silicone. You know how silicone's like, it just always stays gooey. This gets better than that, but it doesn't go rock hard. So it will come apart. Like if I want to go take this off again, just kind of like tap it with a hammer, it will break loose. But it seems like it just kind of holds up. Plus it holds up to like fuels and oils better than silicone. There's a bunch of different ones that'll pretty much do the same thing. Probably the same stuff, just under different names. But this one's called the right stuff. Alright, I am going to let that set up. And got to get the fitting on here for that. Some brown in there. I don't know if that's rust or if that's Loctite. I'm probably going to take the watch your feet. I'm probably going to take the fuel line right off that hard line. I want to clean up on a wire with it. I end up getting a shorter wrench. Did they even fit that? I got a shorter wrench to be able to get the little bit of a turn that we needed to. Give us a little bit more swing room. And let me snug this up. I don't think we need anything on those threads. Probably some of this wouldn't have hurt, right? But yeah, let me do that. Let me give it a little smear. Everybody's yelling at me to use pipe dope right now. Yeah, I know. This will work too. Okay, I'm going to snug all that down, and I am going to go get that. I'm going to let the truck back down again. That bottom's right out. You would have thought that would have had a bottom right out though. What were we just saying? Yeah, I got to get that fuel line off. I'm going to take a wire wheel and clean up those fittings on each end. Yeah, which this is going to fight us. Where are we? That was good. Upside down. Pushing the gasket off. That's what I don't want. Let me get the bolts started. Through the gasket. Can't tell me how many times I've done this laying in the dirt and the snow in the driveway. But I recovered better though. Get in there. So you get one started on an angle. And you can twist it down to get the other one to go. Get my hand up in there. There we go. Got it. You think the chances are that went on correctly. And yes, we're going to tighten down the easier one first. And I'm just going to be mindful if that seems like it's having an issue. I'm definitely going to stop. I got a little hand thing going into that little knob. Gives you just a little bit more turning power. There you go. Seems to be okay. And hopefully we get a little bit of ooze on that gasket. Again, there was 2 of them in there. I think it was just a mistake. I don't think you were supposed to stack the 2 of them. Hopefully. I'm not sure of that. It's not for clearance or anything. I think just for trying to seal it up, you know. I think we're going to need a swivel. What just fell? Something metal just fell. Alright, well, I am not going to bore you guys anymore with this. You get the general idea. We already got the flange snugged up. Got it. Just a light grunt. We'll call that for the wind. Okay, let's go hook up some fuel lines, get back up top. And see what we got. We got for a string hanging here. What's that? Now you say to yourself, that wasn't so bad, actually went in pretty well. And then, so these are clocked facing, I don't know, you guys are looking probably 6 o'clock for you. And the line going to the carburetor is clocked at like 8 o'clock. So that supposed to go in there, that is never going to happen. So that sucks. I don't know how we're going about trying to, I don't know if we have enough room to leave it one solid line. You know what I mean? We got some play in it going up and around, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get, you know, worst case, we cut it, we put a piece of fuel line in it, but it's kind of nice having the one hard line. Well, I want to remove that anyway because I want to clean that fitting up on a wire wheel. I'm talking about that one right there. So what we got a connector that's holding it right there, and then just right up top, that fitting. Let me get it out of there, and we'll try to come up with a solution, see if we can kind of manipulate it to get it on there. So I think on the other one, the top and bottom were screwed together. This one's got a fixed band on it. I think it was just indexed one screw over, or whoever put this together just did not care. And that's what you get, you know, they stick it in whatever press that crimps that thing together, and this weird direction it ended up. Yeah, let's see if we can get this first to spin on this chassis well, and then also the threads. Put a drop of oil on that too. So we need to be able to go, you have to come out first with it, right? So we got to kind of, there are a couple of kinks that way. And we have to be able to turn and twist inward. too far. Maybe we can get it close. What we'll do is we'll leave the top loose. We'll try to get this one started, and then we can kind of influence it. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to put it all in all the clips ahead of time, we'll try to get this one started down below, and then we'll try to work the rest of it. We can probably bend it on the car. Well, I was able to keep it a hard line. It actually did not fight me too bad. I just had to come on the other side. It was out here before with a bracket. Now it's in here. And I'm sure they kind of try to keep it away so that the engine doesn't overheat it and cause like a vapor lock. And the biggest problem really was the rubber hose going to it. I had to go up a size. I was fighting with it and fighting with it. Finally, I just said, all right, we'll put a new one on it and go a little bit larger. And that is good. So let's go fire it up. I think we're all set. And go see if anything leaks or explodes, catches fire. You know the routine. Let's get in. Plus it's a cold start because it's actually the next day. Make sure we're in neutral. Let's go with no choke. We'll hit it. We'll pump her a couple times, see if that does it. I'm paranoid. Let me push the clutch in. Good. See if it stays running though. Because you just gotta be able to, prime it, bring fuel up. Just let it buzz for a second. You can always crack the line on top and keep anything coming out of it, but should let us know soon enough. It's wet down there. I think it is leaking at the hard line. Yeah, the hard line right there is leaking right where that fitting is where we gooped up. I'm gonna go throw a wrench on it, try to crank it down a little bit tighter and see if that'll go away. But that's why we look. It's pretty snug too. It's not like it's I'm not sure where it's leaking at. I don't know if it's leaking from the adapter that goes on. You guys can see. I don't know if it's that adapter right there or the line itself. But let me go throw some wrenches on it. Yeah, try tightening it. It is leaking right at the flare. This isn't leaking, but the flare is leaking. Man, I got it pretty tight. I don't know, maybe there's a crack in this line. That might have been what the problem was in the beginning. I don't know. I'm going to pull this whole assembly back off again. And maybe what we can do, maybe we'll change this fitting out for the one that is on the other pump. And it may seat better. I don't know. Something's a problem right here. And we can't leave it like that. Not for long anyway. I don't know if that's too close for you or not. But here's the two fittings. There's the one on the old pump. And then there's this one. This one, right at about 4 o'clock. Seems like it's got some damage right there. And it's, it's a steel, where the other one is brass. Brass has the capacity to kind of crush, and like if it's leaking a little bit, you can kind of tighten down on it a little bit. It's soft metal. It kind of wants to kind of bind to it. Here's the end of that fitting. I don't see anything funky going on with that. There's a possibility you could always have a crack under the ferrule, but you can't back the ferrule up enough to go see. I don't think so, because it was just a light leak. As soon as I started to put a wrench on it, it really leaks heavy. As soon as I go to crack it loose just a little, it had a pretty decent leak on it. So I'm going to reassemble it again using a lot. And not that. See what we get. Try it again. Notice this one too, kind of like a pipe fitting. It went in, it didn't bottom out. The other one bottomed out in the setup. Yeah. So far so good. Get up there. Hang on, let that run for a minute. I'm gonna throw the air cleaner on it and let it warm up a second. Maybe tweak that air fuel mix again just a little bit after it warms up. We'll give it a little bit of choke just to kind of keep it, there you go, on a higher idle. How's the rest of it doing? No oil dripping from down below, right? Good. All right, let that run for a minute. Yeah. Even when I was putting it together, I was kind of questioning that fitting. Like, maybe I should go with the other one because it was brass. Like, nah. There's where you went wrong. I'll get the choke all the way off. Let's see if we can get it just to calm down a little bit. It's going to run out a little leaner, which is in. Now. Wants it right there. You gotta keep an eye on it too, but that seems fairly decent. Again, it's one of those ones where you can kind of like just lift the engine bay up and grab it with your fingers and tweak it. Good. No exhaust leaks, no fuel leaks, no leaks at all, no oil leaks. Happy about that. I may be able to come down to idle speed just a hair. It was your job to remind me. I didn't. Slackers. Let's see if we can get that fed back where it should go. Something like that. I pretty much put them on everything. I like it. It's one of my trucks I have, it's got like a pin that you can pull and it folds in if you don't want it. Kind of a cheesy one. It's only threaded in the plastic, so I don't want to push my luck. Go with that. Definitely improvement. I'll check the timing one more time. It seems pretty good. You can kind of feel like a accelerate and decelerate. It doesn't seem like it's doing that now. Very smooth riding truck. You can tell it's not really meant to haul a lot of weight because how soft the suspension is. But I went to Home Depot. Kind of a sight. No, I don't know about everybody's Home Depots, but generally you got an area like you get lumber and stuff. You pull up under like an overhang. And I went inside with one of the little flatbeds and I grabbed like a bunch of plywood and a bunch of like the 16 sheets of that 1 inch thick 4x8 sheets of foam and some other stuff. Enough to fill the bed of the truck. And I came out. Of course, there's like a circle around it. Plus, you're trying to load it and get it ready to go. But I don't know, maybe I put 600 pounds in the back of it and it seemed like it did just fine. I don't know what the capacity, I would say it's probably half-ton truck, 1,000 pounds. I got coilovers on the back too to kind of help it because I didn't want the tires to rub. and I relocated the bump stops. I extended the bump stops so it won't travel as far, again, so the fat tires in the back wouldn't hit the wheel wells. I also took, one second. We're too slow. Might make it in third gear. I took the quarter panel wheel wells and I rolled them with a baseball bat, just so there's not a sharp lip there. And so far so good. They haven't touched yet. Now that I said that, right? And for those who haven't seen the headliner I talked about, that's the headliner. And on the console, right now it's sitting on the floor, is the little spinner chart. Let's go floor it, see how it pulls. Pretty good. Yeah, much better. It needed to get richened up just a hair. And again, I don't know if there was a problem with that accelerator. I really didn't notice that too much when it was warm. It didn't seem like it had that little bit of a flat spot, only when it was cold. You hit the gas and it would kind of fall on its face a little bit and then go. So that may or may not have been working, but definitely richening that carburetor up a little bit settled it right down where it needs to be. Because I don't even remember putting that. I'm sure I did when we first did it, put a timing light on it. I haven't even looked into that part of it. But it doesn't ping. It's not hard starting when you go to crank it. It doesn't fight you. You know, sometimes you advance it too much, you get that work kind of thing. It doesn't do that. Temp gauge is good. We're about a third of the way up. Gas gauge is working. We got half a tank in it right now. Charging system works. Everything seems like it's doing what it should. The one thing that's kind of horrible on it, the seat, the padding in the seats are pretty much just gone. The covers, the original covers, are still on them, and they look really decent for a truck. But there's just, especially on the backs, there's just nothing left on them. It's right against the springs. So at some point, I want to take them apart and go through them. And I've used, like, even on Krusty, I used floor carpeting, underlayment to kind of build it up, and then like so like 2 layers of that rubbery, thick rubbery underlayment, and then I took like a 1/2 inch thick of just like a foam that has like thread in it, but that stuff squishes really easy, and that's good to kind of like fill out the areas of the cover that want to have like a ripple or something in it. It does a good job filling that out. Gives a little bit of cushion in between. I've tried some other stuff, and it was just way too soft. I found the heavier material, because you're still sitting on springs, it still has some cushion to it. I don't know if I had like a plush car interior before his truck seats. Like I did that with Krusty, the VW lumber truck. I did that, I don't know, what, 15 years ago with the underlayment. Now the cover that's on top is wearing off, but the stuff underneath seemed to hold up really, really good. So at some point I'll go and do that. On the back of the sun visors, I put the twister. This camera takes a second to adjust the light. There you go. Let's get past this guy on a bicycle. Again, you put this thing in third gear, you pretty much pull it everywhere. And I've had it up to about 75. That's about it. It's starting to kind of rev pretty high at that point. It's only the 170. The engine size is only the 170. Yeah, perfect. I don't have to. What I would do is when I would go to take off, I would pull up on the choke a little bit at a stoplight, and I'd push it down so it wasn't revving so high. Then when I went to go take off, I pull up the choke about, I don't know, about 3/8 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, give it a little bit of richness. And what you're doing is, because when you close the choke, you're drawing that jet that we opened up, you're causing more vacuum essentially on that jet, so it sucks a little more fuel up. You're restricting the air, and so it pulls a little bit more from the fuel, and then again changes your fuel mix to be a little bit richer. That's why it was kind of the indication that I wanted to open the jet up more instead of less. I'm glad I went that second drill bit size larger, or else it would have we would have been back in there again. I say that now. If it was coughing and farting, then I'd be like, whoops, went too far. Okay, and again, like I was saying, you can just fill it with a blob of solder. It'll stick to it really good, and you just drill it back out again. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be a perfectly round hole. It's just whatever fuel is able to get through that orifice is all it cares about. It doesn't need to be polished or, you know, again, you can be jagged. It doesn't make any difference. That guy just hit his mailbox, pulling out, and now he's stopping and looking at it. The door was open on his mailbox. He whacked it. All right, I'm gonna go stop at a friend's house for a little bit, and we'll see where we're gonna go from there. But so far, shakedown run's doing good. Let's go run it through the gears. Get the cobwebs out of it. Apparently there's a yard sale up here somewhere. Let's go chase a couple of these Saturday morning. Normally I like to have a GPS on the dash. You can kind of see where you've been, and plus you put like there's a tracer on it to show every place that you've driven before. And that way you can see if you're going back to the same yard sale. Sometimes you go into a development, there'll be a yard sale sign coming in this way, and then on another street that you know, half mile away, it's going back to the same one, so it kind of lets you know. This could be one of those that sometimes at yard sales, you know, a block off the road is a dead end. No. I think I would have saw it on the sign by now, though. Garage sale, that way. So let's go that way. And this way. Right hand side right here, possibly. Yeah, it's a dead end too. Good. Let's go check this one out. Looks pretty good, huh? Kind of manly stuff, some snow blowers. Let's go up there. Okay. It says we can park right here. I'm not going to walk you around with the camera because it's kind of private property, but I'll show you if I find anything. So I might sit on the lake a little bit up there and then in the garage, and I got a box of 45s records. A little bit of mix and match of all kinds of weird stuff. So I do have a purpose for them, believe it or not, but that will be for another day. Okay, hopefully they don't fly out of the back of the truck. Onward.
He's a member of the Corvette Club. Most of the shows you go to, not the show, just you know.
Come to me. Oh. Just kidding. It's running just fine. I put about 100 miles on it, maybe a little bit more, just around towns. I went yard sailing. I went to a cars and coffee event there for a little bit, and again, yard sailing. I just hauled trash back to the dump with it, and which is good. That's what I like about, cars. Antique cars are fun to drive and all, but the trucks serve dual purpose. You can put stuff in them and use them as a truck still, and still have fun with them. This one, for a shakedown run, it really wasn't that bad for the things that need to be addressed, which was what, the exhaust manifold, fuel pump. I kind of knew that was on its way out anyway. Kind of expect all that stuff to be getting replaced. I think the window sticker on it is 1978 was the last time it was registered. So it's been a day or two, and all that stuff was original that was on there. Fuel tank's got a full tank in it right now and no leaks. That is holding up really well. And a couple of things. I saw the seats. I got to do the seats. The backs of the seats are super uncomfortable. You're pretty much just leaning on springs with a piece of canvas between you and it. And I want to put a CB in it with a whip antenna coming off probably the back corner of the bed going up. I have two that are on the mirrors. I just didn't like those. I'm not going to put a radio in it. I don't want a radio in it. I kind of like it. Sometimes when you drive old vehicles, you want the old vehicle to bring you back to the time when the vehicle was new or almost new, to that era of when it kind of came around. And that is the case with this. You hop in the thing, it doesn't have a radio, nothing on it. You gotta pay attention to what you're doing. It doesn't stop like a new car, it doesn't shift like a new car. It's old mechanicalness of it is what is enjoyable about it. You're driving the vehicle and it's not sitting in the vehicle. Again, it's a blast. And I don't know if I got a full shot of the headliner. I think I showed it on something else once before. That's it. We got ourselves, if it'll late to adjust, a little twister setup went on in there, and it's probably, I guess, going to be the nickname of it because it says it from the outside. Everybody thinks it's called Twister, which is fine. So Twister and I are going to go do another cruise. We're going to go to lunch, and I think we're going to go call it for this one. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me, wrenching on old junk, bringing old stuff back to life. And I'm sure we're going to get into something else pretty soon. Actually, I already know I am. So we are. All right, guys, until we get into that one, I'll see you later. Well, he holds 20 gallons. You think it would be more than that, right? Yeah, that looks like fun. See if we can catch them taking off.
Weather and
yeah, and not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like driving your car on the highway. If you get to 100, it's not going to do it. Yeah.
Looks very modern. Is that like some?
It's 2017 to 2017. He's been flying for 40 years.
Yeah.
It's a twin turbo, if you'd like to know, young man. And the engine's right here. Yeah, it's got it open. Yeah, he's been in airplanes and helicopters and.
What do you call you up and call you up and say, hey, you want to go for a ride?
Yeah, 40 years ago, him and I used to sell cars.
Yeah.
And that's how we met. And then we went to the lighthouse show a couple weeks ago in South Portland.
Yeah.
I go to a restaurant. There he is. I go,
are you Larry? He goes, are you Hollywood? I go, yeah, I know who you are. So I haven't seen a guy in 30 years, and he calls me up saying, hey, he lives in the north end of Manchester. I live in the north end of Manchester. We haven't ran into it, you know, forever.
Does he keep this at an airport, or does he have property that he can?
No, he's got a private hangar. He's got a private hangar at Manchester Airport.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
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 That's a good way to get around.
The Porsche goes in there. Yeah, he's been doing aviation his whole life.
What is it like? What's cruise speed on this thing? Like 60?
85.
Yeah.
85.
You kind of cruise at 85?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're doing today. I believe he said we were doing 85, and we're about 16 or 1,800 feet up. He said the thing can go up to like 20,000 feet. He goes, I am not going up to 20,000 feet.
So does it have oxygen and everything in it, like pressurize the cabin for that kind of height? Or
no, it doesn't. No, but it's cushy. If you
I saw the inside of it. I was like, oh man, this thing
cushy,
is.
Yeah, they had several of them. Yeah, the interior is like it's really comfortable. But yeah, it's like let's go to the car show in a helicopter.
Plus, you don't even have to wait at the airport, right?
No, you don't have to go to the airport. Like I said, he's got a private hangar at Manchester
But
Airport.
like to go to take off, he doesn't have to go in line and wait for that kind of thing.
No, you just contact the airport. I mean, we got the thing all warmed up, about 15 minutes.
And you just go straight up and out.
And we just do some idle time, and then he contacts the airport, lets them know our destination and how high we want to fly and stuff like that, and they give him clear to take off. And like I said, there's some private hangars, which would be airplanes or helicopters. So there's no waiting in line.
Yeah.
You can just pretty much
Larry,
go when you want, right?
What's that?
You can pretty much just go when you want. You just
Right, as long as the tower says you're clear.
Yeah.
He says, do you have to wait in line? I said, no, there's no waiting in line. Just
go
warm it up. And
Here
go.
too.
I know.
That's
sweet.
Yeah.
No, I know we have a cabin in Maine, and it's like a 4-hour drive, and we're like, we wish we just had a helicopter and just poof right
Yeah.
And it's a straight line is the other part of it too. You're maybe doing 85 miles an hour. You're doing 85 miles an hour right there. You don't have to.
Straight, right?
Right. Yeah, no, this is cool.
I know. How long would that take you? Like a 4-hour drive on a helicopter, right?
Well, we're in Maine.
It's Rangeley, Maine. Rangeley Lakes.
Larry, how long would it take to get 4 hours by car up to Maine? With the helicopter. Depends on where you're going. So 4 hours. I can go from Manchester to Bar Harbor just under 2 hours. You'd love that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Even that, is a stretch on the field.
Did you fly here with it? You came with him, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Funny, the aesthetics look like something very modern. Like if you want to compare it to like car aesthetics of it and style of it, it looks like something that would be like a now.
You can't find these.
Yeah.
If you get something
So he stores it right out of
aesthetically
hangar
and
there.
well equipped, it would be about $750.
Yeah.
So this one's about $350. So it's not that
Oh,
bad.
wow.
It'll hold its value. It's sort of like the Porsches.
Yeah.
If you buy them right.
Is this the more of a sporty, as far as helicopters go, is this something that would be considered that direction?
Yeah, I mean, this is a step up from the Robinsons, if that's what you're thinking. The Robinsons
Manchester, that's a good
I know nothing about
I don't
helicopters.
care
So
for those.
yeah.
It really is.
I'm just looking at the style of the interior and chrome controls
It's
and
got 3 blades, obviously, and it's a high inertia rotor system, which basically what that means is it's because of the size of the blades and its articulated rotor system, it stores that energy. So when you have an auto rotation, which is like you ever see those things fall out of the tree?
Yeah.
Same thing, the airflow is going up. An auto rotation is like a baby carriage, 60 miles an hour. Sort of like a Cessna 150.
That's what I would call making an entrance and an exit, huh?